The technology has arrived. Radio frequency identification has revolutionized the way we bank, shop, and communicate in the 21st century, and now it's set to change the very essence of what it means to be human. RFID is a wireless system that you're probably familiar with. The technology uses chips called tags and readers to emit and receive radio signals, which carry information. RFID chips have been around since the 1970s, and they can be found in any environment where you might want to send information from one place to another. The components that make up an RFID chip are now so tiny that they can fit in payment cards, passports, key cards, toll booths, car keys, and hundreds of other devices to help speed up the transference of data. RFID is deeply embedded into our lives and has been making everyday tasks safer and more efficient for decades now. But the latest developments are a far cry from contactless credit card payment and hint at the possibility of a cyborg society. Back in the 1980s, animals started being injected with unique RFID chips to help track and identify farm animals and find lost pets. These special microchips are only the size of a grain of rice, and they're injected into animals as a subdermal implant. So these things aren't just discreet, they're completely unnoticeable. Right now, we have access to the most high-tech and handy identification program in the world that could, quite literally, be at our fingertips. Ian Gillespie is a digital science researcher and describes the human microchip as the ultimate app. It's a sexy, new piece of technology which could allow us to activate devices like phones and tablets, lights, doors, computers, and even vehicles with just a wave of our hands. This cashless, cardless utopia might sound like the idyllic digital world that we're all after. But what if this technology got into the wrong hands? Well, some people think that it already has. Lots of schools in America have already given out mandatory identification cards to all their students, which contain RFID chips so that teachers can keep track of students in the school. In some parts of the world, we're already being caught on CCTV camera up to 70 times a day, and now education boards have started rolling out these student identification tags. The company AT&T, which provides the schools with these tags, says that the technology helps schools do more efficiently and effectively what they're already doing manually. But there's no pretending that these new ID cards are anything other than location tracking devices. Lots of work facilities already keep track of their employees this way, using keycard systems with RFID chips. But the danger of using this technology in professional and academic spheres is that it could spread across the rest of society. Under the pretext of citizen safety, we could find ourselves in an Orwellian future, where our movements and behaviour are closely monitored for political and consumerist purposes. But that's exactly what cybernetic scientist Mark Gasson and a few hundred other individuals have done. They call themselves biohackers, and they perform DIY surgery on themselves using a hypodermic needle to become transhuman. This procedure is being done at implantation stations, which are microchip stalls that can be found at technology festivals. Because implantation is like having a routine vaccination and gives us speedy access to our apps and devices, we could be living in a world where governments won't even have to make tracking chips mandatory. People will be itching to get their chip installed just so they can shop and communicate quicker. One of the first people to receive microchip implants was Armel Grafstra, a biohacker and adventure technologist from Seattle in Washington. Grafstra had a chip inserted in each hand, and now he's able to unlock his house, car, phone, and log onto his computer with nothing but the palm of his hands. The human microchip is convenient and contactless, and as we continue to progress with our technological breakthroughs, a cybernetic society is really not far off the horizon. In 2013, bioengineers from Stanford University created the first ever purely biological transistor made from genetic material. That means that we're now able to turn living cells into computers, which are charged by DNA instead of electrons. In other words, we have finally created a computer that functions within a living body. And in 2014, IBM created a groundbreaking microchip that contains neurons and synapses, which is so complex that it's capable of imitating the human brain. The sophistication of IBM's technology and Stanford's working biological computer mean that multifaceted microchip implants could soon be created which do a lot more than simply unlock computers and offer contactless communication. But with the government and companies already keeping track of our every move, who's to say that this technology won't be hijacked? It wouldn't be the first time that authorities have conducted breaches of privacy. In 2013, the computer technologist Edward Snowden exposed a US spy program which was illegally gathering the personal information of millions of Americans and over 1 billion people worldwide. This shows that governments and corporations are more than capable of seizing our private information. And the invention of the human microchip could be like handing out our private information on a plate.